thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about my diocese, Nebbi Catholic Diocese. When we talk about Nebbi Catholic Diocese, there are things that may be considered to give the face of this diocese for those who have not seen it physically. Maybe first from the time this diocese was born. Actually, today we feel blessed. We are also celebrating the anniversary of Nebbi Catholic Diocese, which is February 23rd. And we started celebrating it now annually on the same day. It was founded in 1996. So this time we are celebrating the 27th anniversary. And this moment of celebration has given us opportunity to reflect and evaluate on the progress, on the activities that we undertake, and also to see how really we are progressing amidst the many challenges that we encounter. I believe the whole process of evangelization always comes with its own challenges and puts us in the mood of searching how to overcome these challenges. Therefore, opportunity to grow. All in all, there are a lot of positive things that we can say about this diocese. First, generally, the people are receptive of the message that the church gives. And maybe because the big percentage of the population in general are really Catholics. We talk about 70 to 75% of the general population as being Catholics. In the midst of this portion of the population, we have some cultural, linguistic components of the diocese. The biggest group, we can say, are the Lur, and we have a component that is speaking Madi and Logara, and then we have a few also who speak Lendu and Kebo. And this is a part of the cultural diversity we have in the diocese. And I believe that the team that has moved all around have seen how these parishes which speak different languages other than Alur are also progressing, and then how they are assuming the faith and cooperating with every commitment in the diocese. I don't find many difficulties in terms of cooperation from the side of people. Culturally also people receive the leaders without much problem. It has been helpful to integrate my activities as a shepherd in their midst. Coming back to what we have on the ground, first of all, when I came almost 1.5 years ago in the service, in the ministry here in the diocese, I gave time to move around to see the structures and to meet people, to create enough space for dialogue, to help me know what are the issues, who are the people that I work with, or I should work with. And freely it happened. And I really enjoyed that moment. And it has set a fairly good foundation for me to see where to place my feet on. So after looking at all the realities in general, I thought that the process of evangelization needs to be classified. We should create some categories in order to make us understand and approach them systematically. Because I met people at random, I saw structures at random, structures like schools, the hospitals, and many other institutions that we have, including the rectory or the convents of sisters, things like that. The projects that were started, like the farms and those kind of things, it helped me to have a sense of where are the necessities, or what do these structures tell us when we look at them. Our society if may call, is generally rural and also traditional, we can say. So this is how it is reflected here. And what we call maybe the urban development, they're mostly along the roads, the highway, well, the main roads. You find maybe some changes. You go behind some of the main structures, you are already in the rural setup. A lot of the paths, the pathways for moving and reach homes and so forth. The farming method still very traditional. You dig small shambas, small fields. You plant things that for a season or two. And the social structure is breaking down. We feel that even the education and everything else, they're going down. They're broken like the physical structures, more or less. Level of education is a little low. Much as we are speaking of a great number of people coming to church or belonging to church, getting baptism and receiving sacraments, especially the sacraments of initiation, they must stop there. So the marriages and the later sacraments are stopped because of, not regularizing the marriages themselves. So we have that challenge, and so the number is there, but somehow it is stunted by the structural change that people grow with enthusiasm as Christians, they're baptized, and then you cannot change them, they remain Christians. But then with the life that goes, when they are supposed to enter properly into marriages and continue living this, many times we lose the people there, especially to continue with their sacramental life. And that is something to tell us. Poor level of education, people dropping out from the sacramental life, at a certain stage, middle age, things like that, up to when they grow old, it raises a question to us. And this question to me is put in the category of problem of catechesis, the level of catechesis. It is my concern that the catechesis, which is not deep enough, is affecting the level of faith in many, many ways. Besides not continuing with the sacramental life, we see also in the ordinary lifestyle, people are coming down with other activities. The search for money is a priority, and because of that, we have affected even relationships in the families. It has affected relationship in clans, and because people search for money at all costs, many want to sell even properties that they have as families, be it land and things like that. So it is disrupting a way of life. And because we also acknowledge that the level of education has gone low, we take also as point of emphasis in our evangelization, in our postulate, the issue of education. We have so many primary schools, we have quite sufficient number of secondary schools, but the performance, I would say the last 10, 20 years have not been very famous. It has not been very good. And the reasons are many. There is a complex of things that have come. It's like when you're involved in situations of suffering, to find the cause and then the head and the tail sometimes is not easy. So we are just battling to see where exactly did this problem come, and then how we get out of it. But one point that the Secretary for Education of the Diocese.
My name is Brother Anthony Musisi, a brother of Christian Instruction, the Diocesan Education Secretary.
In his tour of the diocese, of the schools, and conversation of the people, his observation, which seemed to convince me very much, is that most of our places here, we have neglected the foundation classes. That is primary 1, 2, 3, where people must be taught to learn how to read and write. The mathematics is taught at that stage. The rest is a repetition, is a development of this foundation. On the contrary, we leave these classes as classes for play. People go there, they play, and then they go back for lunch, they come back to play, they go back to sleep. Then emphasis is put on the candidate classes, P6 and 7. But without foundation, what do you expect? That is an observation which to me is very curious and I think is worth considering. So we want to have a conversation with the teachers and other stakeholders. We have so many schools, primary especially, quite a good number, and they're spread. Some are very traditional. They came and they were started, we can say, by the missionaries who came a little more than 100 years ago in this part of the diocese. And then we have also secondary schools, the traditional schools, which were started then. And they worked well over the years. Of course, with time, like people, they grow old. And most of them reflect that reality. The structures look old, they look tired. And mostly because over many years, the renovations were not done timely. And so it's become a big challenge for the structures of our schools for learning. And then we have also the hospitals and the health centers. For the health centers, medical centers, we have 6 units, 2 hospitals and 4 health centers. Basically, they're picking up. Some are doing pretty well. Some are having challenges, dragging their feet and so forth.
One of the key challenges in the hospital is the old and dilapidated infrastructure. The most notable being the main operating theatre that we are in right now. It was constructed in 1987 using burnt clay bricks and mud. And originally it had only one operating room, and it had other components like the sterilization room, the sluice room, and so on missing. And so over the years, as you can see, the building has lost its structural integrity, and there are cracks all over everywhere, on the wall, on the ceiling. And an assessment by the district engineer in 2019 actually found that the building is irreparable, and as such, we have to ensure that we get a new structure.
The oldest being Angal, St. Luke Hospital, which is promising and is progressing. There are challenges, yes, but with the help of some friends, they call them friends of Angal, the Italian doctors and so forth, they're having good service to the people. And then we have Nyapea Hospital, which in itself also is nice. It's the only hospital in the whole of Zombo district. And Zombo district is the most populated district. The government does not have a hospital. So they're depending on this hospital and is overwhelmed because beside the local population, we have also the catchment area, Congo.
I am Dr. Warom Innocent from Nyapea Hospital. In one of our activities at the hospital, we normally reach out to the community in the form of an outreach or a medical camp, especially targeting the elderly and the young ones with the conditions, especially the hypertension and diabetes. Unfortunately, we were able to find some conditions, some of which we are unable to manage as Nyapea Hospital. We got a mother, 60-year-old, with grossly distended or engorged blood vessels on the legs. And also, we had a mother who had a very big mass, most likely a malignancy on the upper lip. Still, since she cannot afford it, she's unable also to access the services.
So these kind of institutes are really missionary, according to me. They're working with minimum means to give big service to a large number of people.
My name is Father Lawrence Driwale, Hospital Administrator of Holy Family Hospital, Nyapea. Christ's work was also of healing. So to promote this work, we use the hospitals.
I really admire the generosity, availability, even the spirit of sacrifice of the personnel, you know. We give salaries which is not competitive, if we can call like that, with what the government does. So sometimes when people are not very much strongly motivated to say I'm serving not because of money, when they have opportunity, they leave us. So sometimes we find these turnovers of workers very rapid. Urusi, they did very well, they're doing well. Is another center that is overwhelmed because it is near the border with Congo, and they're doing a lot of service, especially maternity and all this. So all these people flock there. They do the work like their hospital. Agriculture is one of the main things, main activities that our people are engaged in.
We have some farm where we grow maize, we grow cassava, we grow potatoes. These subsistence crops that we grow. Then around the father's house, we have coffee plantation.
When you come from the lowland, it's very ideal for many types of tropical fruit places, beside fishing and so forth. Then when you move towards the highlands, that is we call it the basket of the region of this area. You can grow all types of food crops that people depend on. I take the vision of my founders and Daniel Komboni, he considered in his mission. He is also a source of inspiration for me. And also Komboni missionaries were the founders of this church. So it's like a continuation. A man who is a servant, a woman who is a servant. That's why even in my mission statement, a church built on the altar of service. It is what I always wanted to make people understand. But the altar of service is what defines this holy man, this holy servant of God. And so if we have headmasters, if we have teachers who have this spirit, I think we shall try to make things move forward. Yeah. So that need of money, how do we create the money? How we bring in the money? These simple structures we have seen here. And you know that they need a lot of repair.
This is our church, the main parish church of Wadlai Catholic Parish. Many Christians come to pray, but we risk praying in it because of the cracks there.
The floor is getting worn out, and then we are thinking also doing the floor. Wiring, according to some experts and the advice, the wiring is not good.
This is the church. As you can see, we are going on with. It is yet incomplete. We have just done roofing. We are still having a lot of work to be done.
So far, donors have been helping in many ways to bring in resources that can make us push one or two things. The youth have grown so big in number.
Hello, I am Reverend Father Walter Wakorach Opoya, the Diocesan Youth Chaplain for Nebbi Catholic Diocese. With me, the chaplaincy team of Nebbi Catholic Diocese. The bishop has mandated us to do work with the youth, service for the young people.
I remember when we went to Panyimur last year with the young people, there are about 2,000. Of course, the biggest place they have that can contain many people is the church, but you don't have the church there. So people try to keep some in their homes and all that. Some slept because it was also a dry season, no rain, so some slept outside. And so those kind of things, they make us think. And the thinking is, how do we get the money to save these people? How do we help them? Because to give good service, you need to create an environment which is also conducive. It's like when you want to teach them, you need an environment which is conducive. It is true when the worst comes, people can learn under trees, but for sure it's not so conducive. The distractions, the movement, the weather, the disruptions can be so many. And one of the blessings as a resource that can be tapped is land. Most of our parishes have big chunks of land. I've asked all the parishes that have these chunks of land to plant bananas which grow easily, coffee that grow easily. They can put maize and beans under which they can sell. Our responsibility as diocese is now to find market for these things so that we sell. Part of it can remain for administration of the diocese, part can help the parish to have some resources among themselves. I've seen that some priests have bought the idea and have started putting the plan to implement so that the first rains, when they come, they can work on them. So that big good spirit is coming up and that awareness is coming up. So all in all, it needs also the leadership from among the priests, the clergy, and so forth, because these land have been lying there for ages. And as a diocese, we put also a consideration on a project we call With One Heart. We give to build a church. We give with one heart. There is a big cooperation, spirit of cooperation, and the lay people are very, very docile, they're very, very good.
It is also us to give actually assistance to the diocese, because the diocese belongs to the laity actually.
Sometimes in spite of the poverty and difficulties of life, they're not reserved when we ask them something. And in many moments, I can say, they have shown good sense of unity, and I believe they have realized that unity builds. And so I find that we can tap on that disposition, that good desire to work together. They love their church, and I think it is our responsibility now to help them as church leaders so that their faith grows. We feel blessed in that sense. We also feel blessed in terms of vocation of priests and religious also. It's a church that is fairly young, but the vocations coming is proving to be consistent. The number of priests is in the 60s now, with 22 parishes. We feel can still balance. The invitation to other religious institutes have been set. We have extended hands to invite them. We hope to have a few more. We got the Capuchins who came recently. We put them in Pakwash, and their start is very good. They have started with the full gear, and I hope they don't get tired soon, but they're doing well. People are happy with them. They're very creative. They're simple in life. They're giving good witness, even in terms of living together. But all in all, I think the presence of the priests is a joy for the people also. And we are blessed that most of our priests are young. The average age is now coming to 50, but it's still a good thing. We have 6 female congregations who are working here. The most original here are the ones founded by Comboni missionary bishops, the Little Sisters of Mary Immaculate of Gulu. In the past, they were mostly in the schools, in the health centers, doing catechesis in the parishes. Those were very common, and they have remained here. Is the majority among the female groups. I think they have, let me recall, maybe 7 to 8 communities in the diocese, so quite spread, and the number is big, mostly in schools now. And then we have the Sacred Heart Sisters, founded in Moyo and all that. I think these are well known around here. And we have other new congregations that came of women, Evangelizing Sisters of Mary. We have the St. Charles Borromeo, things like that. There are many that are coming here. And then for the brothers and the priests, of course, the Comboni still remain. One community, but they're still there holding their presence strong in Angal with many institutions near them. And then we have other groups, Capuchins, and then we have the Sacred Heart Brothers who are coming to renovate a school that is traditional in Nyapea College. And then we have the Christian Brothers who are here, very nice. We asked more to come because we thought they have served in the South a lot, brought levels of education high. Now I told the brother provincial, your mission should be Nebbi. He seems to agree with me. I'm happy. I pray that he sends more to us, that they pick up our schools and help. These are some of the specific, specialized apostolate that we have. We have others, like a big school for the deaf coming up. You know, these are people who have been invisible to the society. We live as if they don't exist. I believe that, in a way, our diocese is growing, and our biggest hope is that people love the diocese, and you find many dedicated to it. I pray that our vision, as we have presented it, a church with one heart for God's glory, takes root to guide all our plannings, that we work in communion and teach people the way of working together, fraternity, collaboration, partnership is always a source of strength. The we takes precedence over the I. This is my prayer, and I wish that God blesses us with that vision, and also then we build our church with the true spirit of service. Thank you.